Well guys, it just came in the mail. My stage 2 high pressure oil pump. Replacing my old one here. It's gonna be kind of a bear to get out. You have to take out those 2 bolts, sensors, take off some of the plate back there, remove your fuel bowl, and some of these connections here to get that all going. So yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. Open up the bag here, see what kind of goodies we got. Okay, there's our seal. It's very important, gonna need that. Some little seals here. Now probably this is the most important tool we got. Taking off the hoses without stripping the threads. Well, I need to read up on this here. Alright guys, so when you're doing your high pressure oil pump for your 7.3, which is back in there, you need to take out all these sensors and whatnot. So disconnect these here. One's off. Take this one off here too. There we go. So there's your exhaust, back pressure sensor. Now these ones you need to be careful with because all these types of sensors on your old trucks with that clip like that, they all love to snap off. I've snapped off so many of them. They get brittle, especially when it's cold out like here in Minnesota. They get really cold. Super easy to break, so just be really careful. So yeah, I'll probably put the phone down for this one just so I'm easy with it. Alright guys, so this is what it looks like here. Just be really careful. I was able to get mine off without snapping and just be really careful. So the next step after getting those sensors off, you don't have to take off this tube for your heater core or your heater, but you can. Is to get this plate off down there. There's that, or see that nut right there, and on the other side too. That will help you get that off, and then that will cover. That'll show you the bolt for getting your high pressure oil pump off, but so you get that off too. All right, guys. There's of course, you got ICP sensor here. I just had to redo mine because it wasn't working, but you get these other sensors off on the back side right next to your fuel bowl. It'll definitely help in getting off your. Shove that out of the way. There we go. Definitely help in taking off all these parts, but yeah, this is one of those clips that I broke before because I wasn't careful. There we go. One thing I did with mine, I did the 10K mod. I don't want to say I recommend it. It's kind of risky doing that to yours. You sure can, but it's supposed to create 50 horsepower and I don't know, do some other things, but I wouldn't really recommend it to y'all. I'll probably take it out during this project, to be honest. Or it'll just come up by itself. Okay, just took that back there for right now. Alright, you got those off. Now, with these hoses, I don't know, those metal hoses, they give you a certain tool here that looks like this, and I highly recommend using this because if you don't, there's a good possibility that when you take off that bolt and try and put it back on, you'll strip your threads. Same with like high pressure brake lines. I replaced those on my truck here, and same exact thing. I stripped it out and had to redo my thread. So just be careful when you're doing that if you are gonna do it, because I did know someone that did it on his truck, did that way, and he blew up his engine. So yeah, just be careful when doing that. So all right guys, I apologize already because it's gonna be such a tight spot to get camera in there, but I already got one of the lines disconnected. You can see right there, the line right there. So what you do is you take your tool here, and there's your piece here, and you slide it right between there, the plastic in the middle there. Slide it in there, and you just kind of have to wiggle a little bit. I got it most of the way, but then I just grabbed my hand and pulled it out the rest of the way. Pretty self-explanatory, but it's just kind of hard to get to with the camera, so I'd use both hands. There is a second one right there. That's gonna be a little more difficult to get at unless I remove that line. And I think those are fuel lines. There might be a couple more down there. I'll have to keep looking. So, one thing I'm gonna have to do with where are you at? That one down there is I'm gonna get a screwdriver here. Come on. Can't really get a good angle. Sorry. There, that might be better. You know what? Anyways, what you're supposed to do is, because I couldn't get with my tool because it's just tight space, just get a couple screwdriver or flatheads or something, and just slowly pop it off that way. That's probably the best option too. Alright guys, I have to say that, let's see, yeah, this one right here, see that goes right down there, was an absolute bear to get out. That was a pain. It took me 30 minutes to get out. Some tools you might need for that, of course, I recommend having one of these. I also used a couple smaller, fatter flatheads. That also helped. I also took out this bolt here, stud bolt, just because having more leverage here. You can also bring your tool going long ways from there to there, and then you kind of pry it. They say once you slide it in there, you're supposed to just pop it off with your hand, but that one was in there really good, so I could do that, so you had to kind of wiggle it back and forth. Whatever works. Alright, so the next step in your project here is to take off your IPR valve. And you do that, you can unclip this little thing there. Just move that out to the side somewhere. Then, come on. Nutcracker. Alright, and then it should be, oh, come on. It should be like a 3/4 inch wrench to get that off. So yeah, and your lines will leak a little bit, just so you know. If you don't, then don't got no oil. Alright, so taking off your IPR valve, it is 3/4. To get that off, it should just, there we go. Get a better view for you here. There we go. Should just be able to, oh no, crap. Have to find that now. Anyways, but you should just pull that off and whatever. Alright guys, so I started trying to take off the IPR valve back in there, but you have to have like a really, I think it's a 29mm or 1/8" deep socket to get it off, and I don't have that, and I'm pretty sure you can just leave it on because I don't think it's holding anything in. So I'm gonna leave that in. So I started getting the plate off with the, let's see where with I don't know, the screw. Oh, there you go. That bolt right there, and that right there, the plate there. Once you get those off, access to the bolt that holds the whole thing, the whole sorry, the fuel pump on. I apologize guys, I'm running on 3 hours of sleep, so I'm not thinking best. So alright guys, to get that plate off, I got those screws out, so I was already going really slow with a flathead. If you something better idea, let me know, but that's what I was doing, just getting a flathead, just going really slow, tapping on it. Alright, trusty old DeWalt framing hammer. So, alright, did realize something guys, that, kick on. Anyways, when you're getting off the cover plate, I got it off, I was like, why is it not coming? there is this line on the bottom of it that you need to unget off. I don't know what size it is yet. I don't know, it's kind of like 1/2 inch, 9/16, somewhere in there. I don't know. Figure it out for yourself, I guess. But yeah, getting along here. All right, guys, so this one actually took a while. When you get the plate off, yeah, so you have to get like a 15mm wrench on the bottom, and I just got my air compressor impact wrench type thing. I don't know what it's called. And then I got extension, and I think it's 15, 16 or an inch. It's one of those two. I think it's an inch. And then I just used this to torque on it right away, and I thought I was gonna snap it, the bolt. Thankfully it didn't, but it was pretty close to snapping. Yeah, so just be really careful when you're doing that. So I think you should be able to come right off now. I believe so. Oh yeah, she's coming off. Yeah, and then you should be able to just pull the sucker right off of there. And boom, shakalaka. Look at that. Would you look at that? Alright. Alright, so once you get that plate off down there, which I did, you've access to that bolt or whatever. So then you need to get the 2 bolts that hold the actual H-pop in. And the one, I removed it, but it's down there somewhere. And then the other one, once you remove your IPR valve, it's also down in there. So yeah. Well guys, I know I kind of jumped ahead a little bit, but after you get that cover off, there's a bolt on the inside. You get that off, and then you should be able just to pull the old one out relatively easily. After you do that, I have my new pump ready. I'm just leaving my old, I'm leaving the plugs in that came with it just because of how dirty it is down there. I don't really want that nasty oil crap in my engine. So yeah, there's a lot of oil that comes out of here. I didn't expect that much, so I had to set up some pans or whatever. But yeah, so it's coming along, just going slow, and make sure I didn't do well with this, but try and keep your plugs out of oil. Yeah. Alright, have fun, y'all. You may wonder why my hands are covered in oil. And that's because I'm doing my H-pop on my truck. So, you wonder why you see these teenage kids licking their oil, and you're like, that's just dumb. But there's actually a logical explanation to why you can lick your oil. See, common problem with diesels, or it can be, is that you get antifreeze mixed in your oil. Antifreeze is sweet, so if you lick your oil, or at least on your tongue, and it tastes sweet, which mine is not, you know that you have antifreeze in your oil, which is really bad. So yeah, thank you. Hey guys, so yesterday I got my H-pop installed and everything, and it works great. And the one I got with, it's a stage 2, so it dumps a lot more coal and everything. I'll put a video on when I'm done with this one on it, rolling coal, as I have to fix my exhaust too. But yeah, overall it works really good. I don't know if they'll make you send in a core, which they did for me. To pay an extra $250 for a core return, which is kind of dumb. But I mean, there's not much really you need to know besides that for this job. It was an okay job. It wasn't terribly hard. There's a couple parts that were kind of hard, like the oil lines. I didn't really show getting them back on, and you just have to, they just kind of pop in. You kind of have to put a lot of pressure on them, but they do eventually pop in. And just make sure you check for oil leaks and everything. I thought I had an oil leak, but that's just the rest of my oil in my reservoir. The engine valve, I mean, just draining out the back. So I'll also probably recommend filling your truck up on oil, because it probably drained a good quart doing that. So other than that, just like have fun. So